Ferris State University.
I get a lot of questions about Industry Print Exercise 4.1, and while you understand your descriptive geometry, when we're looking at a part or we're looking at a print for the first time, sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, so I'd like to go through this with you. So the first question is, in the front view, how many circles do you see? And the way the front view works is this. The front view is always the view in the lower left-hand corner, the front view. And that's looking at the part from this direction right here. That's the front view. Okay. So let's count the circles. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have some arcs here, but the arcs are not circles because they would have to go around 360 degrees. So this is just checking to see if you know what a circle is and if you can identify one, and there are 5 circles. The next question is, how many arcs are there? Now, an arc is a partial circle. So this arc has a center right here, and you can see it runs from this point to this point right there. Okay, so that's our arc 1. Then we have another arc from this point to this point right there. That's arc 2. So there are 2 arcs on this drawing. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is points of tangency. Now remember, tangency means that we're touching at one point. The only place we can have points of tangency are where we have lines or arcs or 2 circles touching each other on the edge. So let's start with this top line up here. It has a point of tangency right here, and then it has a point of tangency where it touches that arc. Then this arc, we follow it along, and it has a point of tangency where it touches this next line. Then this line has a point of tangency where it touches this next arc. And we come down to this arc, it has a point of tangency where it touches this next line. And then this line has a point of tangency where it touches the circle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of tangency. And then the last question is, how many sets of concentric circles are there? So a concentric circle is a circle with the same center. So what we'll do is we'll look at our center mark. So we have a center mark here, and since we only have one center mark and we have 2 circles, we know these circles are concentric. Here we have a center mark, a center mark, a center mark, and each center mark has 1 circle. So these are not concentric. They each have a different center. So there's 1 concentric circle, or 1 set of concentric circles. Now we're going to look at the top view. And the top view is looking at the part from the top, and the top view is located above the front view. So if we go from the front to the top, we're looking down on the part. Okay. First question is, how many circles are there? It's an easy one. There's just 1 circle right here. How many dashed hidden lines are there parallel to each other? Wow. So as we look across here, remember these dashed lines represent the edges of the hole. So these 2 dashed lines represent the edge of this hole here on either side. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's 1 just to the left of the center line, 9, 10. So we have 10 hidden lines running all the way across. Now keep in mind a center line, which is the long, short, long, which shows the axis or the center axis of a hole, is not a hidden line. Hidden lines start and stop at the edge of a visible line or another hidden line. Okay, so we have 10 hidden lines. How many lines, if any, are tangent with the circle? So do you see the circle? We found the circle. The circle's right here. Are there any tangent lines? Well, there's only 1 line coming into the circle, and if this line were to continue on through the circle, it would touch it again at 2 points. So by definition, touching at 2 points, not a tangent line. So there are 0 tangent lines that I can see. Now we're going to go to the right view. And if we are on the front view and we turn 90 degrees this way, so the right view is located to the right of the front view right here. So let's see what questions we have about it. What geometric term describes the general shape, or I'm sorry, how many vertical visible lines are there? So a vertical line runs up and down. A horizontal line runs across. I see 1, 2 vertical lines that represent the edges of this part. The next question is, what geometric term describes the general shape of that view? Now, I would say the general shape of this view is a rectangle. And if we're looking at it from the side over here, we're looking at it, even though this is a curve right here, if you take out a penny or a dime or a nickel and you hold it arm's length away and look at it, it will look rectangular. So the farther you get away from something that's curved, it looks like a rectangle. And then the last question is, what relationship does the dimension line have with its extension line? Now remember, a dimension line has arrows on the end, and it runs in between two extension lines right here. So they want to know what's the relationship between right here and right here. And I would say that that is a 90-degree angle between the two, and the definition of 90-degree angle is perpendicular. So there's a perpendicular relationship between the dimension line and the extension line. And remember, extension lines go to the edge of the part and they stop about a 1/16 of an inch before they get to the edge, so that we don't confuse them with the part. So that's exercise 4.1. I hope that helps you with the terminology of and geometric terms.